Hi everybody, welcome back. Tony again with Shinsho Yoga. And for this video, I would like to talk about this neat prop. So this is a headstand prop or headstand tool or headstand stool, whatever you want to refer to it as. This one is offered by, this is an Amazon one, Yes4all. It is a knockoff, to my knowledge, of the one by a company called Feet Up, right? And I came across this at a class and recently. A studio locally, I know the teacher there. I had talked to her about doing a workshop there. And when I went to go talk to her, she says, hey, come to class. When after class we'll talk. So we came to class. And during class, she broke out this and said, okay, we're going to do headstands now. Now, for me to do a headstand, I usually use the wall. I have compressed discs in my neck, and I don't do tripod headstand because it offers, every time I do, I end up with severe neck pain. So I'll do a traditional headstand, but I always need the wall to make sure that, I don't flop to one side or the other. So she had said to me, she said, we're doing headstands. She said, you know what, do you do headstands? I said, I do. I just need a wall. And they didn't really have a space for that. She says, do you want to try this tool? I had a bunch of them. She had the feet up ones. I said, yeah. So she demonstrated, and I popped up into it, and it's fantastic. If you ever want to do headstands but struggle with them for whatever reason, whether you have an issue in your neck or your spine, or you don't have the general core strength to keep yourself up or anything like that, or maybe you can't stabilize with the glutes, etc., this will train you. Right? Now, the stool that she had there she is like, I guess, one of those official sponsors, but sellers of it, of Feet Up. She's one of their official people. So she had the Feet Up stool, which is a better quality than this one, but it's also much more expensive. The Feet Up brand one, I think, ran almost $200. Definitely more than $100. This one is off Amazon, and it was about $60. And the quality isn't the same. The function is the same, it's just not the quality. The wood on this thing is definitely not as solid. It's a bit cheaper, it's a little flimsier. The cushion on this is not as good as the one on the Feet Up product. But it works, so if you were going to use these for a studio and having, your students use them regularly, I would recommend the better one, those Amazon one. This one I don't think would last regular use in a studio. The Feet Up one would. But for yourself at home to be able to use it, this I think would be just fine. So, taking a look at the stool the way it is, as you can see, it's got the curved legs with a crossbar, and then this piece in the center here where your shoulders will go on this side and your head goes through the center. I'll demonstrate in a moment. It also comes with another piece to make it like a complete flat stool that goes in here. It's not very comfortable to do that. I don't know. When I tried to sit on that, don't like that. It does have these mounting holes through here, right? So this gets easily put in. The screws are relatively easy to put in to assemble it. It doesn't take long, 20 minutes or so to assemble it. And then, of course, if you put that other piece in here, that screws in similar. But I don't use it for that. I just use it as a headstand tool. And it's fantastic. If you have students that struggle to get into headstands, or if you struggle with headstands yourself for whatever reason, and you want to do them and you want to make them part of your practice, and they are very healthy for you, inversions are extremely healthy for you, this is what I would recommend. I use it regularly. I was using it a little too much. It was just fun. Every day I'd be popping into headstands, and I wasn't doing counterposing afterwards. I just thought, I'm going to do a headstand for like 5 minutes, and it really was taking a toll on my shoulders. So when you do this, if you do this at home or you're doing it in a class, make sure you counterpose your students or counterpose yourself, doing something to reopen the shoulders, because you are going to put a lot of stress on the shoulders. It takes all of the stress, though, off of the neck, right? So if you have neck issues like I do, this takes all of the stress off of the neck, and it puts everything into the shoulders, right? So you can do that inversion and practice it. So, enough talking. Let me demonstrate how to use it. I'm going to go facing you first, so I apologize. You're going to have my backside in the camera for a moment, which you may or may not enjoy. I wouldn't want to see it. So, how we use the stool. Your hands are going to go here. Your head comes in between. I push it all the way back. Come up onto your toes, right? As you would be, let's say if you were in dolphin posture and your forearms were down, or even just down dog, coming up high onto the balls of the feet, and then just using your core, you're going to roll up. Once you've rolled up, you can extend and breathe, and you just hold the posture. You can do all kinds of different things in the posture. I like to bring my hands down here. This takes some time because initially, if you're not used to it, you're going to be like, hey, you're going to wobble all over the place. Right? But over time, as you build up the strength in the posture, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to move them down. You can do things like, of course, bringing the legs apart and together. Again, don't do this initially when you do this. If you don't have the strength yet in the core and the stabilizing in the glutes, you'll have to build up to that. You could fall over. The nice thing about this is if you fall over, it's really just kind of like doing a back bend, right? Because the stool will support you. You know, of course, you can bring legs one way and the other, etc. Or just stay in the posture and breathe. And try to relax. Try to just let everything relax. Let the structure of the posture support you. And breathe. And then when you come down, you can just roll down with control. And of course, after you've done that, you definitely want to counterpose, right? I usually start with puppy. And then I drop into child's pose and I'll sweep the arms to just let everything relax. You want to do it a little bit longer than that, but I don't think you necessarily want to watch me in child's pose or puppy for the rest of the video and make it really long. But you definitely want to counterpose. As always, everything in yoga. Pose, counterpose. So, this tool, again, you have students who struggle with headstands, or you struggle with headstands. Wonderful tool. Excellent tool. Highly recommend. Quality of the tool, well, again, this is the Amazon version, this Yes4all. The feet up one is definitely a higher quality unit. So if you have a studio, you might want to see if maybe you can get some type of affiliate or anything to get them at a lower price and have some for your studio. If you're using it at a home, this one will work just fine. And again, it has something in the center that I don't know about. And for those of you asking right now, like, okay, that's great, but what is the value of a headstand? In yoga, inversions are considered extremely healthy because they're considered detoxifying. The concept in yoga of an inversion is to have blood go against the flow of gravity. Because we're upright, the way our head is here, our feet is here, blood flows in a certain direction. Gravity works on that blood a certain way all the time. In yoga, the science behind it, the yogic science, the ancient science, is to invert now. As down dog is an inversion, as forward fold is an inversion, as a handstand is an inversion, as forearm stands are an inversion, as dolphin is an inversion, right? When you have the head below the heart, it changes how gravity works on the blood, right? And they consider it detoxifying because, again, the way the ancient yogis looked at it, it looked to be able to move things differently in the body. So if you had things stuck within the blood and the arteries, etc., throughout the body, through the lymphatic system, things like that, by having gravity work differently on it, it can help remove those things, just as if you took a jar and turned it upside down. Now, whether you want to scientifically or medically believe in that, that's up to you, but that's the concept in yoga. And I like standing on my head. Just, again, this will put a lot of stress on your shoulders, so make sure you counterpose when you're done. I don't recommend just doing it just to do it, I would recommend part of a flow. But I can't say that I'm not one to just kind of pop into a headstand sometime during the day. I usually just stand on my head for 5 minutes, and then I sit in Zazen, Zen Buddhist meditation for 10. So that's that tool. Highly recommend for anyone. That's all I have for this week, folks. Thanks again for watching. Namaste.